telling me that you're not ready for a relationship.
Yeah.
Um, and
Or that he's
and
just not, it's not worth it for him, which is fine, also fine. It's, maybe with for another person you would be willing, but that's just
yeah,
part of life.
exactly. I wasn't. It was nothing personal. It's just you're obviously not into it. And he said he was. It was
Yeah.
just yes, life happens, but if it's important for you to build something with this person, then
Yeah.
you just have to move things around. It's nothing. Work is important, but nothing is more important than kind of your own happiness and your like family. And when
Mm-hmm.
you're in an early relationship, if you're getting the right signals from the other person, then you need to start prioritizing them and the potential relationship and things like that. But you need to be receiving the right signals. And obviously with JT, I was receiving the right signals. Um, and it's okay to, you can move stuff around once first, but don't do it too often
Mm-hmm.
if on the other side it's not happening either.
Yeah. There's there's that quote. I was just looking it up because I wanted to make sure I get it right. But I can't find, why doesn't it say who it's by? But it says, to say I don't have time is like saying I don't want to.
Yeah.
I think it's just an excuse at the end of the day. Um, oh, it says, no, that doesn't say down there. It's just an excuse at the end of the day, because if
Yeah.
you really wanted to, I mean, obviously we're not talking about like extreme cases, okay, get off our backs, but I'm talking about in general. If you really want something, you find the way to make it happen. Lao Tzu, maybe, whatever his name is. Um, yeah, I feel like like sometimes we don't realize it because we just do it on automatic and it's part of life. But I challenge you in general, like to 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 pause sometimes in your life, and when you find yourself doing something on a busy day or just in general, and just think about it. Like you somehow found the way, no matter how busy you are. I don't know if it's like to go out for a walk or to go out for a drink with a friend, or to, I don't know, just sit around and do nothing because you're feeling lazy. I don't, you find ways to do things because that's what you really want to do. You turn
Mm.
heavens and earth. And so, when you really want to do something, you find the way to do it. And if you don't want to do it, then it's just not gonna,
Yeah.
you're not gonna put the effort in. And and a lot of times we don't realize it. So we don't realize we're doing it with other things in our life. So it's sort of like, when it comes to that, we say, oh, but we don't have time. We don't realize that we're already doing it for other people, other things in our,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
other people in our lives, if that makes sense.
I yeah, completely. And also it's okay to not want to do something. You
Yeah,
know, I
exactly.
often you will write to me on Fridays or Saturdays and I have actively decided like this is when I'm going to be putting my phone away.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Yeah.
and so and I don't tell you I didn't have time to look at my phone. I did have the time. I chose not to.
Yeah.
And it's nothing again, and
Not
I say you because
personal.
you and I are chatting. You're not the only
Yeah.
one, right? That I'm not responding to,
Yeah.
and that it's nothing against you. And I think that if you at some point got frustrated with it, you would either voice it or just being like, I mean, okay, that's just fine, but that's not the way I see a
Mm-hmm.
working relationship or a friendship. Which you want to figure out you know different rhythms with people and have that be okay.
Yeah. And look, it's also, and at the end of the day, you have to understand and acknowledge the person you're with, because you know with this specific example, you've told me before, I'm not on my phone on the weekends, and I know that so I know that if I send you a message on the weekend, I'm not going to get a response until after, and that's okay. I'm fine with it. It's just part of it, and if you're going to get upset at it, then that's your problem. Or I have a friend she's so messy and all over the place, and she's like, you know, to get upset at her for being forgetful, or for just being so bad at responding, then it's just a dead end, because this is who she is. So you either love her the way she is, or you don't, and then you move on, and that's fine. But you have to know the person that you're with, and if you choose to hang out with them or to be there or to allow them into your life, then you have to accept that certain things are just part of who they are, and it's, you know, you either love them for it or move on.
Yeah, exactly. It's and
we
I
get
like
it.
how I don't know. I like how you didn't say you liked them in spite of it. It doesn't, you know, it's just you accept it or move on. It's not in spite of, it's just, you know, that's just the way it is. You know, just to come like JT, he gives a very strange first impression of like my parents and my close friends, where they, you know, they didn't tell me he's strange, but I could tell that they were like, what is this guy doing? An example is that my like a couple of very close friends invited us over for dinner, and she had forgotten a key ingredient to her recipe, and JT is such a good cook that he could cook the recipe without that key ingredient and still like he could adapt to it. She can't do that. You know, she's very good at following a recipe, but she wasn't very good at improvising, and he just took over the kitchen. But like he just took over and like kicked her out of the kitchen, and I could tell that he was like doing it because he wanted to make a good impression, but he completely forgot that he's like, you're kicking somebody out of their kitchen in their home, like you need to calm down. And like she was looking at me like, what is this guy? And I was just like, you need to, you know, give him a chance.
Trust me on this.
Trust me on this. And it took a couple of times, and everybody has said like, oh yeah, he's actually really great. The first time he's just a bit weird. Yeah, he's a bit weird. And so all this to say, you know, I love, you know, he's just like that, and I'm not going to be angry about it with him. I'm not going to love him in spite of it. It is just part of him, and I love him, and you know, it's part of him.
And there's always going to be something in someone, whether it's a friendship or a romantic relationship, there's always going to be something that bothers you, bugs you, or annoys you, and whatever. It just have to weigh it and see if it's worth it or not. Like, because in any relationship of any kind, platonic or romantic, there are going to be things that annoy you and frustrate you, and it's never going to be 100% perfect. So you have to understand with yourself what you're willing to put up with and what not. And I often find with Zev that there's certain things that with maybe in past relationships when I was younger and stupider and whatever, more naive, or maybe it was whatever, there were certain things that I just wouldn't compromise on or find annoying. And today I'm in a different place and I look at things differently, and I'm like, it really, in the grand scheme of things, does it really make a difference? It's so insignificant and it really doesn't matter, and so fucking what, you know? And it's about not making such a big deal about certain things and just taking things easy, and not, you know, we have a tendency to just blow everything up and make things such a big deal, or a bigger deal than it is, and then we sort of amplify it, and we unconsciously or subconsciously or deliberately, we tend to like take something small and overly focus on it because it bugs us and we think it's important, and then suddenly it becomes such a big thing that you know, it inevitably really becomes something important. So, you know, you have to really, I don't know, I guess it's a matter of mindset and a matter of time and maturity to really understand, to focus on the things that really matter and what doesn't, and, you know.
Tell us about oh god, what did you no go.
I was just gonna say one last thing. I really like what you said about giving someone a chance. It's like, you know, also with Zev and I, like at first I was like so skeptical and I wasn't sure what to feel, and you know, we tend to not want to give things chances these days. We want it now or not at all, and we want that, you know, like I said before, the fireworks and the sparks and whatever. Right now, the butterflies, or it's not that. And sometimes we need to give things a chance. And I don't mean, oh my God, I didn't like him at all and it was terrible, but I'm going to give him a chance anyway. No, I mean, it was nice. It was good. It was mellow, but I'm not sure. Something about it just, what makes it feel off is the fact that it just feels different than what we expected it, because it doesn't have that butterflies. It doesn't have that fireworks like we expected. because of movies and fairy tales. So, you know, you have to give that chance, and you have to not, you know, because it often comes from where we don't expect it to come, I feel like.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Tell us about
No,
your first dates.
your first date that led to a beautiful relationship or a long-term relationship, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, a good first date, I can a good first date is a date that leads to a relationship.
Yeah. And was it what you expected, or was it like completely
Mm,
different?
yeah.
So
We were
anyway,
meant to do something very a bit creative with don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. We'll be creative next time.
we'll be creative next time. I promise we'll think of something interesting to get you to follow and subscribe to us.
Bye everyone.
Bye.